What is going on, guys? Before we start this video, I just want to say if you are not caught up in the Attack on Titan manga, and I don't mean like you've read most of it, I'm talking you are 100% caught up, then you need to click off of this video because I'm going to be talking about stuff in the most recent chapter, the second most recent chapter, basically everything in the entire series. So if you are not completely caught up, then get off of this video because it's going to be spoiler crazy. And when it comes to the late game of Attack on Titan, that is not something you want to be spoiled on. Honestly, you don't want to be spoiled on anything in Attack on Titan, but definitely not the late game. So right now, get the hell out of here. I'm about to start spoiling the shit out of you. So, okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, Attack on Titan with the most recent chapters and whatnot. Something that everyone's talking about, of course. Something that has been kind of a thing since the very beginning of the series, and it's just been fleshed out as we've gone through it, and now it's finally coming to its big climax. Is Eren justified with the rumbling and whatnot? What he is doing right now? Is he justified in that? And there's a lot of people on both sides, honestly, but I seem to think, or it seems to me that most people are saying that he is not justified, but that he is right in thinking that it's the right thing to do. Like, as in, he's wrong, but it makes sense that he thinks he's right. And so this is going to be a pretty edgy video, honestly. I mean, just the topic is pretty intense. But yeah, we're going to get into some serious edge here, especially because I disagree with that opinion, honestly. I believe that Eren is entirely justified. I think that what he is doing definitely makes sense. Like, I can see why someone would decide to do that. I do agree with that. But I also think that it is the correct thing to do. I'm not saying that maybe it's the best thing for the world, but I'd say from a moral perspective, it is the correct thing to do. And now, a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, but here's the way I see it, really. Let's imagine that I am in some scenario where, I mean, this is going to require divine intervention, of course. I can't imagine some scenario where this would actually happen. But, like, Satan comes to me and goes, all right, here are your options. Either I massacre all of your friends and family, maybe that's like 50 to 100 people, or I just randomly kill 1,000,000 people throughout the world. They all just die. You have to just decide. And I mean, there's no hesitation there. The millions of people are dying. There's no amount, really. You could destroy the entire world. I mean, maybe that would change things just because of how, like, well, I'm probably going to die off with my family and friends anyway because we're not going to be able to survive, just like 50 to 100 of us. But if it's just like millions of people and the world can kind of continue moving on, yes, I'm always choosing my family and friends. I think that is the morally correct thing to do. I think that you owe that to your family and friends. I don't owe anything to the world. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am extremely appreciative of what my ancestors have built in this world. I am able to just sit here in front of this camera and talk to the computer, and then I get to interact with people who watch that, and it's really fun. I get to do all these fun things, and it's really easy. It's not that hard to survive anymore, thanks to what my ancestors have done, what the world has done to create this awesome place. But I really don't owe them anything on a moral level. I don't have to do anything for them. So, sure, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to kill them, but I'm not really killing them. I'm being forced to make a decision on whether they die or my family and friends die. And I think that I actually do owe something to my family and friends since we have, created these bonds and relationships with each other. Where just random people, I mean, it sucks. It's not like I'm just going to be like, oh, yep, fuck them. I mean, I kind of am because whatever. It sucks that random people have to die, but, like, I don't owe them anything. And I do owe my family and friends things. And I think that that's really what's happening with Eren here. And really, it's even a little bit easier of a decision for Eren, I believe, because instead of having this divine intervention situation where Satan comes and forces me to make this decision, Eren is an entirely different situation where everything's kind of just way worse. I mean, of course, you can go all the way back, and the Eldians did oppress the world. Of course, we all know that. But after that, there's some return fire, and maybe that's fair. I mean, I guess it makes sense that because of what the Eldians did, that they are going to then be oppressed in turn. But that's not the end of it. I mean, what is, currently happening in Marley up until Grim Reminder 2, at least, was just awful. It was completely unfair to the Eldians. I mean, it is supposed to be Nazi Germany, clearly. Like, that is what we're supposed to get from that. So that's not too good of a thing, I would say. But then we also learned something else interesting. I mean, we get this thing with Eren where we kind of, when he talks with Reiner, he's like, yeah, everything's the same. I just happen to be born on Paradise. You were born on Marley. We're really doing the exact same thing to each other. I mean, which is true. Reiner caused Grim Reminder, and Eren caused Grim Reminder too. It is the exact same thing. But something else that's really different here, I think, as well, is that it's been mentioned that Marley specifically, and I think it's only Marley because they're the only ones that are aware of this, but if other countries were aware, they probably would want to do this too. They know that Paradise has, I believe it's called Ice Burst or Frost Burst, however they translate it. It's the stuff that allows them to fly on, with their 3D maneuvering gear. It's some ultra rare substance that's on Paradise, and Marley wants to annex Paradise so they can get their hands on that. So that's additional reason that Eren is pretty justified in defending his country. I mean, if the entire world was just to declare war on the United States for whatever reason, I mean, maybe we did something bad, I don't know. But assuming nothing happened, like we didn't actually do anything bad, I'm not going to be like, yeah, you know what? I think we should just let them bomb us. We should all just die. No, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's what the rest of the world wants to do, especially Marley. So Eren's saying, I mean, Eren understands, like I said, this goes back so far. The Eldians started it, and then people returned fire. It just goes back and forth because you can't forget the bad things that people did to you in the past. So Eren's solution, of course, is to just eliminate everyone outside of the walls so no one can have any bad feelings towards each other. The only people left are Eldians, or, well, Paradisians, because there are Eldians throughout the world, actually, which is a really interesting fact. There are Eldians throughout the world, and he's going to kill all of them. But all the Paradisians have always been on the same side. Up until, 4.5 years ago, they didn't even know that any of these people existed. They thought it was just them. They thought it was humanity versus the Titans, humanity versus the world. But no, that's not the case now. But they don't have ties with any of these people. They don't give a shit if anyone dies. So if everyone is eliminated, that will basically end all war. Now, of course, there's going to be more human conflict. There's always going to be human conflict. But at the very least, it's going to stop these massive scale wars that are currently happening because of stuff that happened in the past. So in terms of how effective it is, it's certainly effective. I don't think anyone's questioning that. But in terms of the morality, well, it is a little bit more sketchy. But like I said, I'm always picking my family and friends over the masses. And Eren is doing exactly that. And it's a little bit more massive, right? It's his family, his friends, the people he's grown up with, his faction. It is that. Against, a similar situation, people he doesn't particularly care about, people that if he doesn't destroy, will destroy him and his family and friends, as well as people who are a little bit greedy like those in Marley, and I'm assuming other countries if they found out about the substance as well. So I think for sure that Eren is justified in this. Maybe I'm a freak, okay? Maybe I'm really edgy here. I really don't think I am. I think most people would make the same decision as me if it came down to it. But, yeah, I mean, maybe, perhaps, everyone else is like Reiner and I'm Eren, right? When Reiner finds out that Eren does, in fact, have the coordinate, he says, this is the last person in the universe that should have that ability, right? He's talking about Eren. Maybe that's me. I don't know, because I would basically be acting exactly like Eren has. I didn't come to this idea immediately. I've since that chapter about 5 weeks ago, I've been thinking about it nonstop. Is he justified? And I've really thought it through, and I think that he is. I think that it makes sense. I think that he owes it, as anyone would, to his family and friends to protect them versus the masses, people he doesn't know, people who want to destroy him and them. So I think it does make sense. Now, moving on, that basically is that. You guys can say whatever you want about that. I'd like to hear that. But just a little bonus, I wanted to talk about what I think is actually happening with Eren. Now, is this his actual plan? Does Eren actually want to cause the rumbling, or is something else going on here? I've touched on this a little bit in the past. I don't really know, honestly. I could see it go either way. I could see him just doing the rumbling, and that's what he wants to do, and he thinks it'll work out well, even if everyone in Paradise hates him afterwards. He thinks that, the ends justify the means, it's totally worth it. Or is he trying to have something else happen? Is he trying to have the Paradisians defeat him somehow? Is he trying to pull a Code Geass? I think he might be trying to pull a Code Geass. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even that sure at all. But I see the possibility for sure, because it is so interesting. It really is. Looking back, I've reread a lot of this stuff because it's so good, and I'm trying to figure out what Eren is thinking here. But when he sits Armin and Mikasa down, and he just acts like the biggest asshole. I mean, it's so out of character for him. We're getting all these flashbacks about him caring about his friends, him saying that you guys are the ones I care about, him asking Mikasa that really weird question where she kind of gave him a shitty answer. It's like we're seeing that Eren is not just this cold, calculating asshole who just wants to destroy the world and that be the end. Like, that doesn't even make sense at all, because why would he destroy the world to protect his friends if he didn't care about his friends? Like, the whole conversation with Armin and Mikasa where he's acting like an asshole doesn't really make any sense, at least if he was being genuine. I can't see him being genuine there. So it's like, okay, what does that mean then? I mean, it kind of seems to me like he's trying to piss them off so that perhaps they try to kill him during the rumbling. You know, maybe Mikasa, the last person you would ever expect to kill Eren, ends up just killing him somehow. I don't know how she's gonna end up killing him at this stage in the game with his fucking 4 colossal Titan, but maybe that's what he wants her to do, so that when he's killed, they see that a Paradisian ended up actually saving the world from the rumbling, and it's like a Code Geass ending where Lelouch does that and whatnot. I don't know. That doesn't seem too good to me. Again, it really has Code Geass vibes. It doesn't seem original, like everything we can expect from Isayama, so I don't feel too good about that, like neither me wanting that to happen nor thinking that will happen, but it also doesn't seem correct that just the rumbling's going to happen and that's the end of it. He's just doing the rumbling. That doesn't seem correct either, so I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's interesting. It's going somewhere. Something's going to happen. I was a little disappointed in the last chapter just because we needed the last chapter. It's very good for the story, but I just want to see what's going on with Eren so bad, so just really excited for the next one. That's basically everything. Just wanted to, point out those possibilities of exactly what Eren could be doing. I really don't feel like he's going through with the rumbling just full on. I think he is trying to get something to happen. I don't know exactly what it is, but it just doesn't seem correct to me that it's just the rumbling. So, yeah, I also wanted to talk about how I think that Eren is completely justified in his actions. I think they make sense. I think he would be wrong to not do what he's doing, basically. So, yeah. Yeah, that really is the answer. That's my opinion on that. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about that for sure. Maybe no one agrees with me. I think it's correct though. I really do feel if you were put in that position, you'd do the exact same thing. I think it is correct anyway, so I wouldn't blame you for doing that, obviously. That's what I would do. So, yeah. With that all being said, hope you guys have an excellent rest of your day. Make sure to leave a comment, letting me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.